Beloved, it was Benjamin Franklin that said, "We grow old too soon and smart too late." Truer words have probably never been spoken, and for those of you that are much younger than me, it won't make sense to you now, but trust me, one of these days you're going to wake up and realize life goes really fast, and I wish I knew then what I know now. But it reminds me of an event in the life of Jesus in Mark 10 where the crowds are pressing around Jesus and they want Jesus to bless their children. They want Jesus to bless and embrace the most vulnerable among the multitudes, the most vulnerable in society. And the disciples ironically rebuke the multitudes for wanting to bring their children to Jesus. And many of the disciples already were married and had children of their own. It reminds me of the old comedy routine with W.C. Fields, where he says, get out of here, kid, you bother me." Children are never to be a bother. And Jesus rebukes the disciples. He becomes indignant and he takes one of them and embraces that child in his arms and basically says, "Unless you embrace this child and in like manner embrace me this way, you don't even understand what the kingdom of God is all about." Because childlikeness is essential to walk in the grace, in the mercy, and in the governance of Christ. There comes a moment where Jesus in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, says, "I praise thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you hid these things from the wise and the intelligent and revealed it to babes. Yes, Father, for thus it was well pleasing in your sight." And then he goes on to say, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. For I am meek and lowly, and you'll find rest for your souls." He's being childlike. Jesus is the perfect example of childlikeness. And all too often in our lives, we get smart too late and we behave more childishly than we do childlikely. And so as a result, we hide from one another. We give trouble to one another. We neglect one another. We push one another away. When if we would learn how to go back and remember what it was to be a trusting child and to hope for the best in the presence of loving, caring others. And sadly, for many people, still to this day, childhood is a place of pain, a place of wounding, a place of oppression, and a place of abuse. And God help us that we live in a society where the most vulnerable among us are still being abused. And what we need to discover is that the kingdom isn't about power. The kingdom isn't about, at least not the kind of power the world talks about. The kingdom is about the power of love. It's about the power of trust. It's about the power of mercy. It's about the power of a restored sense of wonder and awe and the ability to be like a child so that in our meekness and our lowliness of heart, we can grow up to a place of putting away all the stuff that's childish. Put away malice, put away anger, put away slander, put away gossip, and become like Jesus before the Father. Trusting, loving, humble, and obedient to the God who is love. Have a great weekend.